So who we here with, man?
Here with Brim Johnson.
Alright, for sure, man. Yo, your name been buzzing around recently in New York. I'm not gonna lie, man. You've been a notorious character for a while. Everybody been knew of you, this and that. For me, first thing first, I just want to say, speaking on like your case, is there any release dates, updates, or any type of updates that the people don't have yet?
I mean, as far as that, it's a process. It's an ongoing process. I actually been on this journey since 2014. Due to numerous different things. I've been mischaracterized a lot. From my past growing up in the street. So what has happened is due to certain weak men and individuals, they have made me like a villain or a monster, and it's made certain individuals in the government look at me now as like a trophy to put on their mantle. So they all try to come at me with different things, and then they work with some of these broken dudes, and they help them formulate lies and try to keep me in trap. But as you can see, if you go check my paperwork in the federal site, it's on PACER, so you can always check it there. Everything's there, up to date. I go to trial on everything. I do not sit there and I won't plead guilt when I know I'm actually innocent. So it's an ongoing fight. In the feds, I still got my appeal going, and I'm maintaining my innocence, and I'm going to fight to the end of time to prove my innocence. I'm actually innocent, as well as with these new charges. I'm actually innocent. I'm not just saying that just to say it to protect myself. No, I'm actually innocent. And you got this corrupt district attorney. He's trying to use me as a trophy to put on his mantle to get reelected. But the sad part about it is what helps him is these so-called gangster dudes that's running around in the streets, that when they fall to their situations, they always try to look for a get-out-of-jail-free card. And since, my name has been developed in the tri-state area from, past growing up of being a stand-up dude and a person that was once in the life, they look at that, oh, he's easy, get-out-of-jail-free card, because we know he's never going to tell the truth. I never get to tell my side of the story. I never get to say, nah, I didn't do that. This person do it. I'm always the one in jail, stuck, got to hold it down. But let's do a fact check right now, right? Especially with all the dudes that talk so negatively. Why I'm always the one stuck in jail and these dudes are in the streets? That's a question I want everybody to answer.
Oh, shit. Okay. So you mean like okay. You talk about that just in general, like you're set.
I'm talking about anybody, right? You got numerous different dudes that try to paint these narratives to take the attention off themselves. But most of these dudes are the people in the street, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to become popular, gain clout, or become lit off my name, or trying to oppose me, or speaking these narratives. But they're the ones in the street. I'm the one in jail, and I go to trial. I don't cop out. And I ask the public this question: have you ever seen in your lifetime so many people in the street worry about a man in jail and talk about a man that's in jail as much as they talk about me? That's a question. I would like the public to answer that one.
I see it. Yeah, I mean, all I can say about that is like, I definitely believe what you're saying. The DAs and these people, they corrupt. They like have their own agendas. You know what I'm saying? They're working for their own.
It's not all of them. Like, let me state for the record, it's not all of them. You got some of them that just coming in to do their job. It's a system. I've come to learn and understand the system, so I don't fight against that. That's their job. They do it. But I'm talking about the corrupt ones, where they actually are committing crime. They did to uphold, the law, the justice system, and they become criminals, but they do it within a system. We no longer become people to them. We just become numbers to them, and people or talking points that they could use to try to get reelected, or to something that they could put in front of the press to make themselves look good before the people that are the donors that put money towards their campaigns. And it's sad.
Definitely. There's a lot of corruption with shit like this. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to people
who
aren't.
Corruption is not corruption, right? The corruption works hand in hand with these fake gangsters, these broken men that do stuff, and then when they get jammed up, they look for, somebody that they can throw the bag on, dish the problem on, and that works hand in hand.
The big fish, basically, right?
Right. Yeah. And that's what I've been fighting off numerous times since 2014. I've had numerous cases, and as you can see, back to back to back, all of them are getting dismissed. 2 of them are dismissed already. I'm still on my federal case, and I'm waiting to go to trial on this one. And once I'm going to start trial, I'm going to tell my manager and my people to reach out to you so you can know and put it out there and tell everybody. Everybody that got something to say, pull up to the trial so you can see how it's really done. So you can see how a man who stands up for his freedom, that has the courage to fight against, corrupt district attorneys and stand up for his belief to prove I'm not this person that y'all say I am. I'm a child of God. I'm official. And that's also what they fear. And they fear it because they know I became educated in here, and they know now that I'm trying to educate, the people of our community, the lower class, to actually see what's going on in life and do better. And that scares them more than anything.
I hope that shit works out. You know what I'm saying? It's good to hear that a couple of the cases charges got dismissed already. You know what I'm saying? It's all process. I'm hoping it all works out for you. One question I did also have, because recently you went viral on when you came out on your birthday and was talking about you denounce ownership of the Bloodhound Brims and this and that. First thing before we even get into that though, I had a question. So you were saying you turned to a MAGA Republican and stuff like that, right? My first question is, how'd you get introduced to that, and what made you want to declare that?
All right, good question. So first and foremost, I didn't just denounce all leadership to Bloodhound Brims. I denounced and cut all ties to the Blood Street Gang. I'm absolutely no longer dealing with that on no level. So I'm not even participating in that on no level, Okay. And now how I became to become a Republican and a MAGA Republican is through my eyes being open. So the process of that started back in 2017, where I was in the feds and MCC in the gym working out, and I seen Donald Trump on TV, and I always used to hear a lot about him, from his business ventures, that, in the private sector, that he was a shrewd businessman, and I like business. I study business. So, he was like almost like an idol in the business world, in the private sector, to look up to, a person that made moves, his skylines in the city, and all his real estate businesses. So when I seen that he was a person that was running, I said, oh, shit. And it's like it was eternally, it came to me. And I said, he's going to win. He's going to win. And from that time, he ended up winning. But, I wasn't still into politics at the time. I was just in jail, doing my thing, fighting the cases. So now let's fast forward to now. I come back to New York, and I start paying attention to it because before I came to New York, I had a conversation with his brother, and while I was in California with his brother from Virginia. And, we were talking politics, and that's something that's usually not talked about a lot in jail, politics, because it turns, ugly sometimes. So as we was talking about that, I see that we both understood that the Republican Party is not what our family members or people tried to make it be, because, most minorities, blacks and Hispanics family members, they grow up Democrat. So as a younger person, they try to make you align with that belief. But I started to see, like, nah. And then what really put the icing on the cake is that I started studying, and I'm a Christian. I'm a follower of Jesus. Okay. I started to see that Republicans, that all their principles, for the most part, most of them, are Christian-based principles. And those are the principles I live by. Hold on one second. Don't hang up. Hold on.
All right, for sure. You good.
Yeah, so I started to see, like, most of their principles align with, Christianity and what I've read in the Bible and started to learn. And I started to compare it with the way I seen that Democrats live and the principles and their policies. And my belief and in my opinion, most Democrats, the vast majority of them, their principles their policies and what they believe in are satanic to me. They believe in gender affirmation for children. They believe that 2-year-old children could actually get sex changes. They believe in, just things that are outrageous and outlandish to me. And that helped solidify, my belief in the Republican Party. And I learned that to make moves, to really make change, it has to be done legislatively, and that through Congress. They control the legislative branch, and it's done through politics. And our people are not taught that in our neighborhoods growing up, and that's why we're finishing last. The lower class, we're at the bottom of this thing in life. We're at the bottom of society, and we're very smart people. We're great people. We got major talent. But what we lack is the knowledge of what's really going on, and then going inside that system and making a pivotal mark and change that can better everybody so we're not left out.
Okay. So you basically, so your ideologies, like your beliefs kind of matched more with the Republicans than the Democrats, is what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Okay.
My beliefs, my principles in life matches with the Republicans, hands down, and is totally opposed to Democrats.
Okay. All right, for sure. There was a couple comments in there, like they was like, oh, basically just like basically shitting, like mad that you was backing Trump, like because they don't like Trump, they think Trump's racist. They're like, oh nah, this bullshit. What do you think about them people in the comments that was saying that, like, oh, he's chatting this and that?
I like that, right?
Yeah.
And I like that, and I welcome that, because one thing we need to learn as people, we don't always gotta agree, but we can have a conversation. We can debate about it. It doesn't have to turn violent or nothing. That's how it's done in the real world.
You have 1 minute left.
I believe a lot of people haven't even took time to study Donald Trump. I believe most of the people, especially people in our communities, they're led and taught to hate the man and to believe that he's racist because of the people that they're listening to. You got to understand this, right? A lot of us in our communities that are black, Hispanic, or whatever, our parents and their parents grew up in times of slavery. So they are indoctrinated and conditioned to mislike white people. They automatically or systematically programmed to think that every white person is their enemy. So it's an indoctrination, and as they grow, they continue to teach that and pass that along from generation to generation to generation. And that is wrong. That is not the truth. You can't make it a one-size-fits-all. You have to judge individuals by what they show and what they display. I don't see that in that man. And it doesn't make you a racist if you want to see your people empowered. I believe that makes you a person that's just all about your people. And when I say that, doesn't even mean just white people, because I don't think he deals believing in race. They might check polls, to see how they're polling with different races, but I believe that he views the world by class, by what class you fall into. And he's in the upper elite class. That's the difference. And that just makes a person prejudiced. And I believe in some form of fashion, all of us are prejudiced in our own way, whether we want to tell the truth about it or not. To the people that have negative things to say about that, guess what? Great people become great because they do above what the average person does. They take that extra step. They don't follow the trend. They don't follow the wave. They set the tone. And that's been a person that I've always been. That's who God made me to be. So I'm not going to follow what people say. I'm going to be the example to set the new trend, to set the tone, and bring many people to the Republican Party. But I'm also in a fight to stop many people from going to jail and to cut down the recidivism rate of people going back into jail and start living a prosperous life and really become members of society that can enjoy the fruits and the blessings of the American dream. That's my pursuit. That's my passion.
All right. Okay. It's a good message, though. You're going to try to lead people, the right way, do this and that, try to help people with understanding the politics more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I can respect that.
I've been that person for a long time, right? And this is part of why, I had to hang that up. You know what I mean? Because insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results.
For sure.
So I've been this person that been reformed myself, that been redeemed myself, and I give all the glory to Jesus and to the Father God in heaven. But as much as I tried to help everybody and do everything, no matter what, the government and the people that are in power and the public as a whole will continue to look at it as something negative because of that stain, that brand, that curse, that blood holds over a person's life. It will forever be looked at as just something negative. I thought I can do it as that and still show people, no, we are positive people just under this. It can't be done that way. It just absolutely can't. And I had to accept that. I can't help everybody if I'm blocked out of society, if I'm looked at as negative, as a monster, as a disease, as a curse. It won't work that way. If you see most of the older people that been blood, been Crip, and anything, most of the older people, especially I'm talking about in the tri-state, New York, New Jersey,
Right.
Connecticut, most of them left. They fell back. Why? Because it's not the same. It's been a curse upon their life. All it ever did was take till it can't take no more. The options are very slim. You either die or you end up in jail for numerous times. But nobody has no true success story as that. If you know any, tell me about it.
Fair point. I mean, the only thing I could really think of is probably some of the rappers right now.
All right, and I'm glad you said that, right? I'm glad you said that. So that's the best we could be? Huh? We not smarter than that? That's the best. And I'm not saying this, do not let this be misconstrued like I'm down in rappers. What I'm saying is that's the best that we got? That's all we can be is a rapper? We could be so much more, so much bigger, so much greater. And we have people that are doing that. We have to integrate, become a part of society. Rapping, to me, is a good part. But look, that sticks us in a box saying this is the cap as far as you can go in life. And I don't accept that. I believe you can go way further than that. And I'm in pursuit of that. And I'm not going to give up. Ever.
While we're kind of on this topic too, I had put, got a lot of fan asked questions for this interview. So a lot of people, matter of fact, before, I'm not even going to ask you why, because you made a post about it. You spoke into detail why you feel me, no longer you have ties to Bloods and everything. You know what I'm saying? My question though is, would you expect everybody, or are you expecting everybody to follow your lead, or it's on some like hands up, I don't care, like this is what I'm doing?
I actually want, and yes, I do have an expectation and a want for people to follow my lead. Yes, I absolutely do. I know a lot of people can't see the blessing in it, but yes, I didn't put my hands up and say, fuck everybody. As I was a leader and an influencer in that, I want to influence people like this. It takes a lot of courage to do this, especially growing up thinking that's all you got. That's all we know. For most of us in our neighborhoods, that became our fraternity. That was our brotherhood. We grew up in single family homes, and all we had was us. I understand it, but we have so much more. There's so much more, and I want to educate everybody to it. I have so much information to share with everybody that's going to make them prosper in life and stop people from going to jail and really make them become members of society. I want to teach everybody the power of our vote. In New York, you can vote as a felon. Even if you've been in jail, it's not over. And we can help put in power or go into these things and become in power to make change for the lower class to help us prosper in life. So, yes, I do want people to follow that. I want people to see the light and say, yo, if bro did it, he did it for a reason. We know him. He's smart. He always tried to push us to be better. He taught us about business. He made sure that we got our GED before he ever even gave us any pieces of power to follow him or anything. They know this. This is something that I speak as truth. I want them to see the life and think hard. Why did he do it? It has to be something he knows that we don't know. And I want them to follow, to leave that life alone and follow this. Not saying that they have to go into politics, which I would love, but at least
Right.
to leave it alone and to take steps for us to raise up out of that curse. We are under generational curses in our neighborhoods, in our environment, in our communities. That's generational curses that was passed on to us from our family members that we don't even know about. It's oblivious to a lot of people, it's unbeknownst to them. And it's time that we break those curses and rise up. And it's not going to happen for people that have a racist mind that can't integrate with all parts of society. We are one people. If you look back in the Bible, the world was populated by Noah's 3 sons. The world was populated by them. That's the start of the beginning after the flood. There is a lot people have to learn about history. You can't look at things in a little box. You're going to miss everything in the world.
One question also I had, what if you're comfortable answering it, but what do you see happening to the Bloodhound Brims after your departure? Because there's honestly been a lot of speculation of where they're gonna start. It might just cause a havoc or what, but in your eyes, like what do you see happening to Bloodhound Brim since your departure, or you just don't, or you're just on some that's not your business right now shit?
What I see happening is that what's already starting to happen. It's gonna break apart into little street gangs. It's no loyalty, no unity. It's gonna break apart because everybody wants power, or what they assume to be power, a false sense of it. But a lot of people have hidden agendas. They just want to be lit to nothing. And then a lot of these people that want to be lit are incompetent, ignorant, and cowards. I'm just being truthful. So that's going to cause them to be at odds with each other. And then where it goes from there, I mean, it's just a downward spiral. So that's what I see in the future of that. It's cursed. And God had made me the person that was the nucleus in the center that held everybody unified with a goal of prospering in life and becoming legal. And that goal is far removed for numerous reasons.
Okay. Yeah, no, I could, yeah. That's probably, that's what a lot of people think is going to happen too, honestly. But, hey.
That's on them. I mean, you got to look at it like this. My hope, my wish, my suggestion is that multiple people will follow me, leave that life alone. There's no retirement in it. There's nothing you can get out of it. All it's going to do is take and take and take from you till there's nothing left to take. However, for the people that, think they know it all, F him, this, that, and the third, or got something negative to say, the noise, because I consider that noise. For all those people, okay, well, if you're the man, then go ahead and see the outcome. But I can almost guarantee you the outcome. With age comes wisdom. With experience comes wisdom. I can see the outcome. I've bared a lot of pain, trials, and tribulations from that curse. And one of the best things I did in my life, besides giving it to Jesus, was freeing myself from that curse. It's a curse. And I feel so much better.
Yeah, so no. Does it feel like a weight lifted off your chest, kind of? A weight lifted off your back?
Absolutely. You hit it on the head, a weight. Like tremendous weight. Like, I feel so free. This is one of the first parts of my freedom in life, to be free from that curse, to be free from the snakes, to be free from the betrayal, to be free from, everybody trying to use you for what they want and loving you when you help them or say yes to them or give them something, but hating you when you say no to them or do something that they cannot understand that's beneficial for them, but they're not educated enough to see it.
Definitely. Yeah, no, I could only imagine though, man. But yeah. So another question I had, if you're comfortable even talking about it, but there was actually like a whole situation a while ago with G6. I don't know if you want to talk about that at all.
mean, there's not really much to talk about with that. You know, I never recognized it. I don't recognize it. I never have. And
you have 1 minute left.
You know, I really don't. You know, the official person, you know, who that goes to, I can't put it out there. But there's a lot of lies told about that, and that was never officially sanctioned. So, what is there really to talk about with it? It don't exist to me.
Okay. All right. Nah. Yeah. It was just a whole big thing. You know, you said what you said, and then there's a lot of members who was claiming that was like very upset with that. Oh, fuck that. Blah 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 blah.
They can be upset because they don't know, and they brainwashed to think something. But you know, many people lie. And, you know, cowards is going to hide the truth to keep people blind and see what it is. You know, I don't got much to really say about that. It don't exist to me. It never did, and that's where I stand on that.
All right. Okay, for sure. Okay, this about to be the last question probably about just even Bloods in general, but a while ago, there was a big situation. I just wanted to ask you about it. There was the CJ, the CJ situation. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like he had come out, made this Whoopty song, went so viral, and then they all crashed down when it was you and Tutu G's went at him, but I think it might have started with Tutu. But once you was on the phone, you was basically saying like, yeah, he's not. He saw a wave and wrote it, blah blah blah, but he not Whoopty. My question is, being this 4 or 5 years later, was he ever Whoopty like at all? Like, did you ever find out anything more? Like, he really was just never Whoopty at all or something, and he just did that for the song. Like, a lot of people are still confused on his backstory because he's in interviews saying like, you know, like, oh, it's not for nobody to like. I don't want to say it publicly. That's what he's saying. Like, oh, I don't have to publicly say I'm this or that. I know what I am. So my question to you is like, has anything came from after that call about him? Like.
This is the truth. He never was. He's not. And nobody really knew him. He hung out around a few people that was, and he picked up the slash. You know, like that's what I was talking about a little bit earlier when I said like I said trends. I don't follow them. So he seen a trend in a wave and a style that was, you know, just splashy, and he found the moment to capitalize off that. Now, there's no problem with capitalizing. The problem came with not giving recognition and being truthful and lying. He's a liar. I don't respect him. He never was, and he's just, to me, like another Johnny come lately that's just always, you know, want to steal a moment, you know, looking for clout. So I consider him amongst the statistics of the other ones that's like that.
So enough about, I guess, all that negativity. Let's get into the positivity, man. So like, I had a question for you. Do you have a message to any like kids who are like sitting there right now thinking, like, debating whether they should hop off that porch or not and shit like that?
Yes, I do. Thank you for the question.
Sure.
I say to all of the youth, to all of the kids, you know, I know y'all growing up in broken homes and single-family homes, and times is hard, and you're looking for friendship and that brotherhood and that sense of belonging. But that's not the way. There's a better way. You can go to school. You can get into institutions, to fraternities, to caucuses. Like right now, I shouted out this young brother that I seen that's doing this thing. I believe he's from the Bronx. They got the NY Young Republicans Club Caucus. These people are powerful.
Really?
They Republicans. They young Republicans. They doing
They do that in the Bronx?
And I would urge people to check them out and go align themselves with that and get with that. If you want to belong to something that's going to help you prosper in life, that's not going to tear you down, that you're not going to end up in jail for, or that you're not going to be considered as an enemy of the state or enemy of the United States. That's not it. I know it looks cool. I know it looks like the thing to do. And I challenge anybody that's out there, you know, that has some type of influence that says, you know, they know what they're doing. I challenge them to start leading these people to what's right, or be responsible when they fall and stop letting people fall for they bull. I challenge people. I also have a next challenge, and this is my challenge to the negative people that hate on me. This is a big challenge, right? I challenge y'all to see who's going to become a billionaire first, and y'all got a head start. So let's see. Make it.
Oh, you saying between you and them?
Yes.
Okay.
I challenge y'all to see which one of us is going to become a billionaire first, and y'all have a head start. I'm in jail. Let's make it fun. That's my challenge to y'all. Let's see what y'all can do. Please, let's see. Accept my challenge, please.
Do you have any updates, like next court date, or do you know when the trial starts, where we can start getting some updates on your situation?
My next court date is March 12th, and they're about to start seeing how many of the co-defendants is going to go to trial and what motions is going to be submitted and all that stuff. But like I said, it's a waiting game process because they know I have nothing to do with nothing. I'm in college in the Feds. I just graduated from the American Bible Academy. I'm doing things to, make sure that I could come home, have a stabilized life, and be an intricate part of society and prosper, and also make sure I lay down a roadmap for people to follow to prosper in life. I have no time, for the negativity, none of that. I haven't had a fight since, how many years? I can't even remember. I don't have no negative, no misbehavior reports. I'm in population in the Feds. They got me locked down now, but in the Feds, I'm in population in a medium secure facility. Like, I'm doing my thing. I'm programming. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do while I'm maintaining my innocence.
How long have you been locked? Like, how long have you been locked up without coming home? Because I know you got hit with like two different cases while you was in there.
Two.
More for sure.
That's why I said a lot of them, I stand up and they get dismissed. They seen the truth. But so far I got 11 going on 12.
Okay. Damn, that's a long fucking time, man. But it's like,
it is. And I still stand tall. I still maintain my innocence. I still maintain my courage to stand up against the status quo. I still maintain to stand up against corrupt district attorneys and people that want to misuse us to make themselves look good. I will never break in the fold on none of that. Stay tuned. I'll always go to trial to maintain my innocence and stand up with my head held high, irregardless of the outcome. Even if I have to fight the long-term fight and appeal it, I stand to that process and go through it with honor and with joy, knowing that I'm counted amongst the few, not the many.
I hope for the best, with this whole case and shit, like, there's a lot to it that I feel like good things can come out of this, for sure, even with a negative.
You could ask, if you find anybody, right, that's been in these populations with me, every jail I go to, which many people don't know, I'm the pastor. I'm the one that's teaching the classes. I'm the one that's teaching people how to pray, teaching them about the Bible and all these things. I don't run around and try to put that at the forefront and show off and boast about it. You know why? Because I do it for God. I don't do it for public opinion. I don't do it for acceptance or none of that. I let these dudes out there try to paint their pictures and these false narratives about me. I know why they do it. You know why? Because they know by mentioning my name. When they mention my name, people listen and pay them attention. If you go around, right, on YouTube and stuff like that, if you got time to take a notice, I've seen and heard that when people want people to click on what they got, they just put the name like Brim in it, and automatically somebody gonna click on it to see what's going on. And we talking about broken men. We talk about cooperating witnesses, rats, that they'll just say my name just to get people just to click on what they say. We talking about haters. We talking about cowards. I mean, like, the list goes on. And it became like a wave of people that said, you know what, if I talk negatively about him, I can be accepted. But little do many people know, a lot of these people trying to reach out to me and say, yo, bro, why you don't want to mess with me no more? Yo, I didn't do this and that and the third. They lying on me. Or I did this because I was mad at you. And you know what I do? I just ignore it. I'm going to lay down this positive roadmap, and for those that want to follow it, will follow it. Those that don't, guess what? That's on them. Why? Because each of us are men and women on our own as individuals, and we must bear the consequences of our own actions. Each man must stand to that. So these dudes that like to do things, say things, and don't want to stand up to be held accountable, God is going to judge them in a way. I leave it to him.
All right. You know, I know I asked you about like your message to like the kids thinking about hopping off the porch and this, but do you have any message to like all gang leaders out there? You know what I'm saying? Like anything like that could be, or like just people would pull within these types of environments that kind of similar to yours. Like, do you have any message to them when it comes to situations like yours?
Yes, I have. This is my message to them, right? A lot of us, like I said, grew up in this, in broken homes, in poverty, in messed up situations that kind of was designed to keep us down. So my message to them is open your eyes, look around. There is no retirement plan in this. It is designed and set up for you to fail. You cannot prosper in life like this. It's a cap, an actual cap on this. You're going to be viewed as an enemy of the state and as an enemy of the United States. There are numerous people out there that are working with these people that are all around y'all. They are broken men. They become confidential informants and cooperating witnesses, and they're looking for a moment to take you down. Do not give up your life for that. A lot of y'all are official and have the ability to make it. That could be running some of the biggest, best Fortune 500 companies in the world. Y'all have talent. Take your time to educate yourself, learn, become a part of society and prosper and lead people in that. Because if not, you're going to regret it. Don't let these words come back to bite you. You can think the cool thing is to say, F him, he don't know what he's talking about, he a busted, this, that, and the third. The proof is going to be in the pudding. So take heed to what I'm saying. It is an ample time to change your life, the course of direction. That's why God is doing it with me. I know it is a hard thing to do, the peer pressure, hearing about how people going to look at you, how they're going to talk about you. But guess what? If somebody looks at you or speaks about you negatively because you want to do positive, then that means it was never your friend or for you anyway, and you should be glad that you're separating yourself from them. Let that be your motivation. That's my message to them.
All right, for sure. Yeah, man. I mean, we got out a lot of, for me, hard-hitting questions in this one. Got out a lot of good points. Is there anything you kind of want to say on the interview before we wrap up the interview? Anything else that you probably didn't mention?
Like, but my man, another thing, right? I just want to ask you a question real quick because I like to quiet up rooms and stuff, right? So somebody told me that I paid you for you to post me on your page. Did I ever speak to you before this, pay you or know you or anything like that for you to post what you posted about my announcement or anything? Can you give clarity to that?
No, nah, we was not paid nothing for that post. I can confirm that. That was definitely just off the muscle.
You have 1 minute left.
Okay, so you see, this is the storyline I couldn't believe it. I said, what?
They trying to say you paid for the post?
Yes. Yes.
That's funny.
I couldn't believe it.
You know, people just be haters, though. You know, that just be what it is, you know.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. But this is hanging up. I appreciate it. And, you know, I'm here to give the positive message. And like I said, congratulations. Keep doing what you're doing. Use your platform. You know, sky is not the limit. You can grow bigger and do your thing. And if I can help you, assist you in any way positive, I'll do that. Just reach out to my manager like you did this time, and we'll take it from there. Have a blessed day, and I'm here. And
nah, say that, bro. Before this shit hang up, I appreciate, you tapping in, you know. Likewise, too. You can always hit me up. Let's see how this shit go. We can probably get a part 2 soon, you know. We'll see what's going on. Shit like that. You can always...
Thank you for using...
Oh.